Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, May 20th. You know, I kind of can't wait to go back to, a baseball stadium, this year because, since fans are going back into the stadiums, sporting events are going to be opening up more and more capacities coming up. But I think right now in this time, where everything is still sort of not fully back yet, I think we got to take appreciation of what's going on with some of the stadiums. For instance, in most stadiums, they got everybody separated and everybody spread out. And I can't help but think that's actually kind of a good thing. If you think about it, because if you've ever been to a professional sporting event, any big event in like a sporting event, like in the stands or whatever, if it's a packed house, it can get pretty cramped, pretty uncomfortable, especially if it's hot. If it's, cold, whatever, you can feel uncomfortable pretty quickly. So I actually kind of think that now we should appreciate the space that we're going to get, because I've seen on TV, there'll be one family in the stands in one row, and then maybe, just staggering people. Even though that's not the full experience and all that, it's going to be nice because those seats are not the biggest seats. They're kind of small. You always want to kind of see if you can skip a seat. If nobody comes and you're oh, we can skip a seat over. But then they come in the fifth inning or whatever, all late. And they're oh, this is my seat. God damn it. Now that's kind of out of the question. So you kind of can be separated more so. Not saying that I don't enjoy the full stadium, I do. But let's be honest, sometimes it could be cramped and just uncomfortable. And they have a new rule that you can't go to get food at the snack bar or the concession stand. You gotta order it online and they bring it to you. That's also kind of cool. You're just reading up on because I go to Dodger games every summer, except for last summer, but they said that you order food and they'll bring it right to you. That's also pretty awesome. That's never been a thing, for me, going to a sporting event. You always have to go there, leave your seat, get through the whole row, uncomfortably all the time. Your ass is in their face or, whatever. It's embarrassing sometimes. You I gotta plan my trip to the snack bar to go get this and try to get back to the game before, the next inning starts. Now with these guidelines and restrictions, it's not all bad. I think it's not too bad. I mean, it could be a lot worse. I mean, we couldn't be going at all. Nobody could be going to the games. So I think that right now, we should kind of appreciate what we got with stadiums, in this era that we live in right now. Just got to appreciate it a little bit more because it's going to go away soon. Right? We're going to go back to normal, fully 100% capacity in stadiums, and it's going to be back to normal. And then we're going to be being spaced out a bit, having people bring me my food, that wasn't so bad. That was actually kind of nice. And I only say that because this past weekend, I was at a graduation, which wasn't this year's graduation. It was my little sister. She graduated last year. I love her, so proud of her and everything, and she's gonna do well in the world. But again, she graduated in 2020, and I thought that last year they were going to do a virtual thing, whatever. They didn't. So they decided to make it up this year. So everybody from 2020 class and the 2021 class graduated on the same day, technically, had their commencement ceremony. And that was, we were late. I woke up late. It was kind of my fault. Of course, everybody blames me. But I kind of take fault for it. I woke up late. And I wasn't going to go stinky, so I had to shower and, get all that done. But when I got there, the stadium isn't the biggest one ever. Yeah, it's not too big. It's not too complex or where to go, the section you're seating, the row, whatever. It wasn't too hard to find our seats. So we got there, separated, which is, again, it's so nice and everything. And it was a cool day too. And I got to be honest, the build up and the days coming up to it, I always get this kind of like, especially because she graduated last year, I was just like, why are we doing this? Did you have to do this? Is this mandatory? Like, I get it that you want to have the ceremony, commencement, and all that, but like, like, I would feel like a year passed. You still have this feeling? Maybe I'm just being an asshole. Maybe. But I know that some people probably declined because there was like there was like so many seats on that football field, right? That maybe they potentially could have fit like maybe 2,000, maybe 1,500. Like half of the seats were full. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because it wasn't a big college. Maybe not many people in that department. I don't know. I'm not sure. Who knows? But it was still nice though, because I went to school there. I've been to that stadium a couple times. It was nice to be back and see like faculty and the president and like the leaders of the university. So like it was nice to see that again. It was really nice. But the thing is, my sister said like it was going to be a 2.5 hour ceremony. But I'm thinking like, okay, are they going to give out diplomas? Are they going to give out certificates? Like, what's going to happen here? Because I thought, I would assume that they would be like, all right, we're not going to do this because of COVID. We're not going to do that because of COVID. This and that, the other. But that's what happened. But the thing is, they had a lot of speeches in the beginning. Oh, we want to congratulate you. You went through such tough years. It's like, okay, we get it. I don't need to be remembered. You know what I mean? Like, it's so repetitive, and they just keep, hammering you on with the. I get it, right? I understand that. We all get it. We all know what we're in. We don't need to be reminded of what year it is, what we're going through. We all get it, right? So I was just kind of like, okay, get on with it. Say their names and let's just be on, And then it was weird. It was weird because they got this pre-recorded speech from this woman that is super rich, right? And she basically kind of like, was a hype person saying like, you guys did it, congratulations, you're gonna be the change of the world, change of the future, change the world, whatever. What they always say at graduations and all that. But this woman, I swear, man, it kind of took the air out of the sails for the graduation. It was kind of weird, and it was kind of like she made it all about her, which was even weirder. And what happened was basically she just called out all boomers. Bizarre. Like, I couldn't believe what she was saying. Like, she was saying that we're the cause of, we've made the earth an ashtray. I was like, wait, what? Then she's like, I'm so sorry for what I did. Like, oh, okay. This kind of got dark quick. And then she compared like her generation to theirs. Like, that's really uncomparable. You went to school back, way back in the day. These guys just graduated. How do you even compare that? Anyway, and it was like maybe 10 minutes of that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry for that. Like, oh my God. What is happening? And then like it just felt like so off-putting, and because she was like you could tell her house was really nice. She had it all set up. She had like a nice bouquet of flowers to her right. She set up her background and everything. It was all nice and all that. And she was saying like, you guys got to be, donate to charity and all that and help out with the community. Again, this woman is super rich, so I don't know. I didn't like do some, research on her. Maybe she's done stuff, but it kind of was weird how she was like, pepping herself up and like saying like, she said like 50% of the people that were in my generation, the boomers, didn't donate to charity. And then she's like, shame on you, boomers. And I was just like, whoa, this is kind of weird. Like she started with saying like, I'm a boomer and I take responsibility and I'm sorry. but then calls out just half of the generation, like, shame on you, boomers. It just felt odd. It felt weird. And then, like, everybody was, like, kind of like, the applause after, I would say, wasn't the biggest. And it wasn't, like, the smallest either. It was kind of, mediocre applause. But then after her, some kid who was actually in part of the class saying, like, was quoting Rocky, how everything's not so sunshine and rainbows, and, like, you can do things when it's not going your way, and you can accomplish things when things, you're up against the wall and all that. Like, yeah, man, that's what you should be saying. Don't start blaming people. Don't be apologetic. Don't be like, saying, like, it's my fault, or I'm so sorry for the world that you live in. Like, okay, I mean, I get her intent. I get it. She feels this sort of way where she's like, it's my fault, I gotta apologize. But, like, I'm kind of like a person that kind of like if once you start saying you're sorry all the time, like, that sorry and that apology is, like, kind of like just dwindles. It just doesn't, like, have any merit. It doesn't really have any meaning. It just kind of, it's just a word or a phrase or a gesture, like, I'm sorry. Like, because when I was a kid, I would say, like, if I would, like, hurt somebody or, like, make a mistake or be mean to somebody, I would say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, all the time. And then my mother was like, stop saying you're sorry, you don't mean it. Or, like, I was really, really young. I would be mean to my brother or whatever, take stuff away from him, hurt him, or, just what brothers do when they're like 8 or 9, 7, 8, 7, even younger, like, just what we do. Like, she'd be like, stop saying you're sorry, you don't mean it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It would just be like a common occurrence that I would do. And to the point now, like, I kind of, like, remember, like, what she said, and I was just like, yeah, I gotta, like, I can apologize maybe once or twice, but I gotta, like, mean my apology. I gotta show things that I'm doing now in the future to, make sure that they know that I made a mistake and that I'm learning from it. You see on, like, some people, there's movies or whatever, like, you see, like, I don't even know, but it's just like, I heard, like, on a show one time, some guy was, like, made a mistake or whatever, and he's like, I'm sorry, sir. He's like, don't be sorry, just don't do it again. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you live and learn. You learn not to make the mistake. That way you don't have to say you're sorry again. Or maybe if you do make it after a while, it's like, then you would apologize again just to reassure that, I'm trying. Let the person know that you're trying to be better. Try not to make that mistake. I feel like her apology, again, was like more than 10 minutes. It was basically, the entire thing was basically an apology. And it was just, I don't know, it was kind of off-putting. It was like we weren't at a graduation. We were at, like, a big apology. That's what it was. Like, for that 10 minutes, it was just, wow, okay. But again, it felt weird. It felt off because she was in her rich house with, like, a beautiful background and beautiful bouquet. And we were just sitting there in a stadium watching, waiting for our, relatives to get announced as graduates. It just felt weird. It felt off. But yeah, it was a good graduation. It was fun. Super. Once everybody was let out, everybody was, like, kind of taking pictures with everybody. It was fun. It was nice to get outside and actually, like, go to the campus because I haven't been there since I graduated. I've had no reason to do it, so it was nice. It was fun. It was a lot has not changed. The only bad thing was I forgot to. I had to go back to the car, and it was so bad because we were just getting turned by every, like, person. Like, can we get into this parking lot? No. Go right and then make another right. Then you should be able to get in. We did that, and, like, we couldn't find it. We were late, and it was bad. It was bad communication, bad everything. It was kind of bad, but it wasn't the worst. Again, it was nice to see that. It was nice to be outside, nice day, kind of cold, kind of chilly for, May, but I'll take it over hot weather. Like, right now, it's pretty nice. Right now, it's 68 degrees with a nice wind breeze, and it's May. It's almost June, by the way. It's almost June. I mean, like, how did we already get here? I always say that every few episodes, like, how did we get here? How do we even, like, how does this coming up so fast? How is all this happening? But it's just like, time flies. It really does. Some people for it does, some people it doesn't. But I think I'm I noticed it more. I just do. But it was all good. Again, congratulations to my sister. I'm really proud of you. I don't think I've ever said it on a podcast or ever mentioned her. I won't name names, but she knows that I'm proud of her, and I congratulate her. And she's gonna do good. I believe so. She's got a good degree. She was always very, very smart. Very smart, determined, outgoing. Always was very popular with her friends. Would always hang out at our house and all that. It was. She's a good person. And I hope my relatives, who, if they listen to this, know that I love my sister. And that congratulations. I gave her a big hug. I think I gave her a gift last year when she actually did technically get her degree. So, I mean, I don't know if I was supposed to get her 2 gifts or not. I don't know how that would work. I didn't get her anything, but she knows I'm proud of her and all that. She knows everything's good. Everything's fine. But yeah, that's what happened over the weekend. Good weekend. Had some friends over again. It was nice to see everybody back. People, it was just so nice. So much fun because there's some friends that I hadn't seen since, in person since last March. So I saw people for the very first time since last March in person. And got to tell you, man, it was surreal. It was fun. It was like, oh, wow, you're back. You're back here. This is great. But you never, again, this is like the first time we've ever like experienced this. So it's new for us. It's different. It's like, oh, we never thought that this would happen. This never was supposed to be a thing. We aren't taught this. Like, it's just, you're away from some people, and then you come back, and it's like, oh, how you doing, man? You look different. Did you lose weight? You gain weight? Whatever, Everybody looks different. I know that I gained weight, for sure. I think a lot of people did. But, I mean, what were we gonna do? Not gain weight? I always, like, kind of hate when, like, people that you knew in high school or college even, like, you see them years after you graduate, and then they're like, oh, you gained weight. Like, they need to tell you that. Like, you don't already know. Like, yeah, I mean, I can tell. I live in this body. I see me every day in the mirror. I know that I gained weight. But again, it's also kind of like it's a reminder that, oh, yeah, people now notice that I've gained weight. Because sometimes you can't notice when you gain weight. Because you see yourself every day, you're like, oh, it's just me. Oh, I look like I gained a little. You go to the scale, like, oh, I gained a couple pounds, so it's not too bad, whatever. But then you need somebody to kind of say to you, like, oh, you've gained some weight. Maybe you should work out. Maybe you should go run or something. Because I got to tell you, man, after graduation, I had to run back to my car to go and grab something. And I had to run back to get the light to make sure I can get there at least a little bit on time. But, dude, I was so winded. I was winded after I got back. Oh, my goodness. I was just out of breath, and I was panting, and I'm like, oh, man, I can feel this. Like, I need to exercise. I need to work out. But I don't know, man. I just don't have the motivation to do it. I know that it's better for me, and it would better my health. But it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm getting older too. It's like I'm no longer 21 or 19 or whatever. I no longer have like that the drive, because like when I was in high school, I would always feel like I needed to work out. I don't know why, because my metabolism was never that good. It was never like off the charts. Like I remember I had a few friends that their metabolism was just insane. Like they would not gain any weight from like eating McDonald's, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, Burger King, whatever. They just would not gain the weight that I would gain. And it was kind of annoying. I'm like, dude, all you eat is bad food. How are you so skinny? But it's like, maybe we would go play some laser tag or go to the, play airsoft in somebody's backyard where we have to run and shit. And then you would kind of see, oh, they're not that healthy. Their health is not that good. They're out of breath pretty quick. They just get tired easily. They get dizzy. I never like got like dizzy doing that. Because I would slightly work out in high school more. In early college days, I would kind of go to the gym, go to the track, whatever, lift some weights, and I kind of would keep my fitness up a bit. And when you stop that, when you do none of that, it's gone. Like that slim that little bit of fitness that you have is gone. And you notice it, and you're like, I've never been dizzy though. Just panting out of breath, but never dizzy. I feel like if you get dizzy, then it's really bad. Then it's like, whoa, what's happening? The only time I got dizzy might have been when I was playing soccer in high school and we were doing conditioning, and that's always a pain in the ass because it's literally just running all day long. Yeah, because soccer players, they run on the field the entire 90 minutes or however long you play. So it's like, oh, I got to be in shape. I got to make sure I don't fall behind, because if you don't, then you're not going to make the team. And that's what happened to me the first time. I wasn't quick enough. I wasn't fast enough. I had no endurance. I got dizzy real fast. And that was one of the one times that I actually puked because I was so dizzy and just out of shape. And I probably ate some bad food at lunch. It just didn't sit well, whatever. But I actually vomited from exercising too hard. That's because conditioning, the coaches and everybody just pushes you to your limit to break you. Not to break you, but to just push it to the max. I don't want to say break. It's not the military. They didn't break you. But they want to see how far you can go. How long can you go? And I remember every day it would always be okay, we're going to run a mile. And I had never just run a mile for a warm up ever. And anything that I played, I would play little league baseball, soccer. We never just ran a mile to warm up. That was new to me. That was just we're running what now? A mile? What is this? And I was like, I can't do this, man. I was so out of shape. I was out of breath. After one lap, and I was at the very back the entire time. How are these guys such in good shape? I don't understand. And some people wouldn't be out of shape like me, but they would still be behind me. What? Oh, you would get that dose of, oh, I'm not as bad as this person, or this person is way better than me. Kind of fluctuate like that. But yeah, and that just bring it all the way back to the nowadays, and seeing people and just knowing people that you went to high school with. You always got that picture in your head. They might be like this their entire life. But they're not, though. They gain weight, they lose weight, whatever happens to them. It's just weird seeing it now. It's weird because if you live in a small town, you see a lot of people that you grew up with pretty frequently. So you can kind of see how they change. They wear this now, they wear that, they don't wear this anymore. Personality changes because high school is such a weird few years. You get the best out of people, you get the worst out of people, you get it's just a weird time. And it's only when you get to the real world, when you get after college and all that, you get employed and you have a job, responsibilities, bills, maybe you have kids, maybe you're married. It all changes after that, and it's weird. It's really, really weird. I'm going to talk about some gaming news. I haven't talked about games in a while. So this week, it was reported that the new game Starfield, that's being developed by Bethesda, and now recently bought by Microsoft and Xbox. Microsoft saying that they're going to make this an exclusive game on Xbox and PC, which rumors are that it's coming out this year, potentially next year. But now it's pretty official. I think it is official that this game will be an exclusive on PC and Xbox, which I gotta say, kind of surprised me for a couple of reasons. One, it was announced, when this Microsoft and Bethesda was not a thing, not a collaboration, not a team up. Now it was before that, so I would figure that the Bethesda games that would come out, that would already announced, would stay on PS5 and Xbox. I just would, assume that, because I mean, it'd kind of be weird if they announced like a game that was like, before that announcement, before that purchase of Bethesda, like it just felt, I just thought that they would be obviously, on both platforms, you know? But no, it just came out that it's going to be exclusive on Xbox, and I thought it would happen later, much later. So that's going to be a big thing, I think, that this is going to be exclusive. For one, it's a new Bethesda game. It's not a property. It's not a IP that we know of. It's not Doom. It's not Elder Scrolls. It's not Fallout. It's completely new. So maybe that's kind of why they did it. Maybe because like it's a new thing. They're kind of taking a chance on something here. We don't really know what it is. Is it going to be as open as we think? Like No Man's Sky is going to be more tamed, like a Wolfenstein or a Doom. Like we don't know. We have no idea really what kind of game this is going to be. So I got to thinking, like, will they do this to Fallout or Elder Scrolls? Will they do that? I don't think so. Because those IPs are so popular, so many people play them on Xbox and PlayStation. I don't think that they have like enough. I don't see them taking those games away from those players. I really don't. Whether it be on on PS5 or whatever, I don't see them doing that because these properties are already so big that so many people play them on PlayStation that it would kind of hurt, I think, their sales in a way. Like, I know it would be nice to make them an exclusive on Xbox and PC, but I also feel like they have such a big market and such a big pool of people on PlayStation that play it. So, like, making it an exclusive would be a little bit of a backtrack on those games. And whereas Starfield, again, is new. We haven't seen anything of it, so it's going to be a little bit of a risk, maybe, I would say. But I think that if they make it, I think they're saying that it's going to be Game Pass day one. Shoot. And if it looks that good, they might convince people to buy an Xbox because, that's what I think. I could be wrong. I could be, off a bit, but I think that's kind of what they're going for. I don't really see them going back on this either. I think it's going to stay. It might, and I don't think it's going to come out this year. I think it's going to come out maybe next year because again, it was announced in 2018. 2019 got a little bit of a teaser, and 2020 another teaser. But I think that this year might be the year. I don't know. I for one would want it to be like a Fallout game, like the exploration, open worldness. I would enjoy that more. I don't think that it should be like Doom or Wolfenstein. I think it would be it kind of be a little bit what's the word, underwhelming if it was, because it feels like it's going to be a big world. And I know I'm just judging it by the teasers and all that, but like that is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a big open world type of space adventure. Big, maybe new engine, maybe new everything. We are in next gen consoles, by the way. So I think that they're going to push that new hardware, I think. If it does come out this year, it'll be the fall. So it'll be 1 year since the Series X and S and the PS5s came out. So I would just assume that they would take advantage of the new technology to make it better. Run better graphics, better animations, whatever. Like, I just think that it would be such a mistake if they made it just the same. Like, not much of an improvement at all. Like, it would be so. For me, it would be damaging to them, because it would show that they're not taking any risks or improving things. They're just sticking to their formula, which again, I kind of understand why they would, because for the people that like those games, they like the way they play. They like the way they look, the way they feel, and I do too. I like them, but I do see that they need to be improved, and they can be enhanced and just better. They need to be ramped up, right? It's kind of like an old style of play. It's an old style of gaming that needs to be improved on, and games like Red Dead Redemption 2, from what I've heard of Cyberpunk, is just, leapfrogging Bethesda games. It's just those games are kind of like in an older era, of RPGs and big open world games. So I kind of feel like maybe it needs to be better. It needs to be sharper, more polished, better, newer engines, whatever. It's just got to be bigger and better. It can't be the same thing. It just cannot be. Same with Elder Scrolls 6. It's got to be better too. I know we just got a teaser last year, maybe the year before that, I can't remember, but it's got to be bigger and better too. Not just the graphics, but the engine. It's got to be all new. We can't backtrack on what we're in a new console generation. We got to show off what it can do. I remember last year when they announced like ray tracing would come out in the next year or whatever, or after launch. We can't say that anymore because it's already 2021. It's going to be June soon. So, more and more games are going to be coming out with the ray tracing and all that. So it's got to be coming out and, showing off what these consoles can do. So I remember like when Halo Infinite was going to come out last month, or last fall actually, supposed to come out, they said that the ray tracing wouldn't be there until the following year. So I expect that Halo Infinite this year would have ray tracing at launch. And that is to say, like, is Xbox going to have enough consoles at launch, or the Halo launch actually? Because right now I'm trying to buy a Series X. I cannot find one at all. Like, it is just barren out there. Nothing is out of stock everywhere. And, I've been hearing that from my friends and all that, from, internet memes and all that, trying to get the hands on the new consoles and all that. And I always thought that it was just like kind of like a joke about it. Like, there's so little that they just, they can't get them in time. But no, they're actually out of stock. You can't even purchase them. You can't even click I want to buy, because that button is just grayed out, right? Just out of stock the entire time. So I get it now. I get it. Which is bizarre to me. Bizarre. I mean, like, did they just make less consoles? I mean, was it just the pandemic's fault? Did they just not assume that people would buy the consoles? I don't know. Maybe because like the ray tracing thing wasn't going to come out till next year. Did that have an effect on like the production of the consoles? I have no idea, because for me, it was for me, but I'm not sure about the rest of the people, because seeing the gameplay of some of the games like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I was like, it doesn't really look all that much better compared to my Xbox One X. I'm going to hold off on this. I'm going to hold off, and I'm going to wait and see, and I'm going to see if later on I'll need it. But, when it launched, I did not need it. I didn't need a new console at the time. However, now if you play, Call of Duty now, if you play other games, they I can just hear my Xbox being absolutely loud. So loud. Like, it's just like a Harrier is over your head. It is so loud. And that doesn't seem like it's a good thing, because it never did that before when I first got it. It definitely has gotten much louder. I remember like when I was playing games, like when I first got it back in like 2017, 2018 maybe, it was so quiet, right? And it was the first Xbox that has no power brick, so that was cool. But now it's just like, oh, it is so loud. And it is so, like, you can just tell. Even Call of Duty, like Warzone, Modern Warfare, Black Ops, those games just take the life out of it, and it's just struggling. So it's like, I don't know, we'll see. But I think that this year, hopefully that they, make more consoles, because again, it's barren out there. You can't find any. That people will start to buy them. They'll see the new power. Like, I know for a fact that Battlefield 6, the new ones that's coming out, it's going to take advantage, because they've said they're going to make bigger, massive battles, take advantage of the next-gen technology, ray tracing and all that. It's going to be, for what I'm hearing, it's like a relaunch of the series. They've kind of been sticking around their engine for a while. Battlefield 3, 4, 1, 5, they've all kind of been sticking to their engine, the way it moves, the way, everything works. So I would assume that the next generation consoles will provide showing off a new engine for Battlefield, because I'm a big Battlefield fan. Sometimes I think it's better than Call of Duty. But when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, that kind of revamped it up too. It was a different feel. So I kind of expect the same thing, but I'm starting to think that it's not going to happen. I don't know what it is. The fact that they haven't released anything about it, no real news. I know that there's going to be a reveal in June, but still, I'm worried. I'm really, really worried. And I just want it to be good. I just want it to be good. Because I gotta say, this past weekend, I played this game called Enlisted. And if you don't know, that's a game where it's kind of like Battlefield, but it's more tactical. It's more, you don't, it's not as arcadey as Battlefield, even though Battlefield's still kind of like not arcadey in a way. But it's big, massive multiplayer game. World War II, super fast TTK, time to kill. Pretty fun actually. Graphics aren't as good, but it is a beta. But it is so much fun. It's like everything I wanted Battlefield 5 to be, Enlisted is. And I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see when it comes out, because the feel, the vibe around the community of Battlefield is just thirsting at the mouth. So thirsty. They want to see what's happening. They want to see what's the new one going to be like. Because for a lot of people, Battlefield 5 was a bit of a disappointment. For me, it was major because it just there was no life in that game after launch. No life at all. A little bit of life when they released their Firestorm, which was Battle Royale. A little bit, but it wasn't there, man. And they did this thing, it was live service. They did it so they could drip out content super slow. A couple huge updates. They added the Pacific, a couple more maps, a new mode, but it wasn't that good. It didn't live up, and it was just kind of mediocre after that. And you could tell that they just gave up on that game. And it was sad because updates were supposed to come out on certain dates. They got pushed back, and it's why are you getting pushed back? Literally, this is all you got to do is get these updates out, but you're pushed back and delayed, and it's just come on, man. The game's already out. What's going on? Just add the gun already. They would take forever to add one gun. So I can see why Battlefield fans would be skeptical and not fully trusting DICE and EA for this. I agree. I'm with you. I understand. I want them to be better too, but only time will tell. Gotta have a solid first impression. Gotta be solid, because I remember the first impression for Battlefield 5 was not strong. People were just doubting it ever since it got revealed. So, again, first impressions count big time. Big time. They cannot fail on this one. If it's going to be massive, if they're putting so much effort into it, they got to make sure that they put it out right. Because the community spoke last time it came out, and they did not like it. I tried to get into it. I tried to love it. Some parts I did, some parts I didn't, and you just got to strike hard with that community. Because I get that you want to branch out to other people and other gamers and all that, but I get that. But you got to make sure that your core community is strong and likes your game, because those guys will support you if you care about them. They will buy your battle passes or whatever you choose to do. They will support you. They'll keep playing it. They'll keep the numbers going. They'll tell their friends to hop on. Eventually that'll happen, because friends like to play with each other. So that'll happen. Just got to make it a little bit easier for us. Give us something that's good, right? Don't disappoint. Because I got to say, I was a big fan of Battlefield 1 when it came out. I think the majority of my friends were pretty big fans of it. And we all played it pretty well, not as big as 4 or 3, but it was still really fun and entertaining. And I think to this day has some of the better Battlefield maps that they've ever made. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that they do. But again, just respect the core audience, man. Respect them. Don't turn them away, because that's all you got. That's really all you got. Call of Duty does it so well. They respect the COD audience. They don't really diverge off the path of what Call of Duty is. They don't try to make it something that it's not. Just keep Battlefield. Do that, and you'll be fine. You'll be solid. All right, let's talk about sports now. Everybody's favorite. Now, I think that we're at the point of the season for baseball where everybody's kind of in a flow now. Everybody's kind of in their midseason flow, even though it's only been like almost 2 months. I would say everybody's kind of like where they are is not set in stone, but it's getting close. The Dodgers are not looking too good. I haven't talked about them in a while. Recently, we were kind of on a slump, losing a lot of games, losing series, pretty much not scoring many runs, not hitting well. But again, that's also because people got injured. Cody Bellinger's still not back. A.J. Pollock is out. And Corey Seager just went down. So it's been pretty rough. It's been pretty rough out there. And, it's not anybody's real fault, I don't think. Right? Because you don't have your full team out there. You don't have the people that you were, hyping up, want to play, are the better at the position, who have the most experience. Like, I mean, like Cody Bellinger wasn't bought from anybody. He was a draft pick. He just became that good because he is that good. Corey Seager, another one. We didn't buy him from anywhere. We didn't trade for him. He was just that good. JT we picked up from the Mets, who was not very good on the Mets, and now is just good on the Dodgers. The only person we really picked up or bought really that had the most impact was Mookie Betts, but that was like the big one that just for me, Mookie is the best player in baseball. He is. His hitting is good, energy, his fielding is good. He's good on getting on base. He can hit bombs. He can hit RBIs. He can do it all basically. Great athlete, fantastic player. He's just, to me, one of the better players. I would say the best, but I can also argue that, Mike Trout is pretty good, even though he's kind of like injured up, banged up a bit. Shohei Ohtani is fantastic. He is so good. And he's also a pitcher too, so he's a freak athlete. Fernando Tatis is good. Acuna is good. So yeah, but I would say that the biggest struggles for us is just we're kind of depleted. Like I said, Bellinger, Seager out, Pollock's out, May is out, Edwin Rios just went down. So that's why we kind of had to but we had to sign Pujols. And I'll be honest, when I first heard the news, I was like, why? This guy is 41 years old. He was batting like 198 before we picked him up. He wasted, not wasted, but he did nothing, virtually nothing for the Angels in Anaheim. He did nothing really. No playoffs really. Not big of an impact. Not really good records in the season. Not convincing at least. He hit okay, but for me, like that whole contract, it was kind of a bust. They didn't get to the World Series at all. They get far in the playoffs. It wasn't well. So when they signed him, I was like, why? But then I'm thinking like, okay, again, Bellinger, Seager, Pollock are out. And we just, had a few players like Gavin Lux, who's kind of struggling, I would say, not doing the best that he can do. We brought up Sheldon Noyes or whatever his name is. Good guy, good player. McKinstry's injured. Edwin's injured. So I get it why. We needed somebody to play first base who can also hit. And Muncy's going to be playing second base, which to me was a bit of a shock because I'd never seen him playing second base. He always played first base. But he seemed to be okay doing it. So, and we have Gavin Lux playing shortstop and, JT's in third. So I kind of want to say that the struggles were just because injuries and, I'm not going to blame Dave Roberts on everything like everybody else does because I just feel like, he's made so many clutch decisions, but also bad ones too. But it's like he doesn't have a lot of players out there. A lot of them are down. So I get why they signed Pujols. I mean, it makes sense. He'll be the first baseman. He can still sort of hit. I think that he'll be, him being on a better team, on a winning team, on a team with potential to make it to the World Series. I think he'll be able to shine more than just, playing for a team that's in the middle of their division with, kind of a boring team, I would say. I mean, look, no disrespect to the Angels fans, but their team is kind of boring. I mean, besides Shohei, That's about it, I would say. Anthony Rendon's kind of boring. Mike Trout is kind of boring, as a personality for baseball. Like, I don't know, man. It's just like that organization, that team, it has a lot of talent and a lot of flair, but they never really show it. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Like Bellinger and Seager are kind of boring too, but Mookie Betts is electric. JT's fun. Kershaw's cool. We have got Bauer now, which is fantastic. I love Bauer. Bueller. Got a lot of people that are just like eye grabbers. Mike Trout, everybody says that Mike Trout is the best player ever or in the game right now, but he just doesn't seem fun to watch. I don't know what it is. It just he always came off kind of boring to me, kind of just like just does baseball and that's it, which is fine. I don't hate that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just feel like it's in the age of social media in 2021, in the age of being making I don't know, noise, making highlights and all that. He just never is in that category for me. He just, hits well, gets on base, and just scores, and that's it. But they never really win, though. So it's like, it just kind of I don't know. It just kind of gets, he gets washed up in the highlights and all that. He's just there. Like, you expect it, but that's about it. They don't win the game, really. So, I don't know. It's weird. Not disrespecting. He's a good player. But it just, I don't know. I don't get excited about watching an Angels game. Dodgers, yes. I mean, it's my team. Braves, yeah. Padres, yeah. What's the team that's doing really well? Even San Francisco's doing pretty well. San Francisco's doing really well right now. As a Dodgers fan, I gotta admit it. We haven't played them this year yet, but I'm pretty terrified to play them because, I mean, they are rolling. All cylinders rolling. Like, it is. And we always seem to fuck up when we play them. They'll beat the fuck out of us. I mean, like, we'll be winning games and doing well, and our record is better. But we play them in San Francisco, or they come to us, we cower. I don't know what it is. They just play us so well, and it's so annoying because I hate them. I hate that team. I hate those players. Not actually, like in real life, but if they play against my team, it's like, oh, I don't want you to beat us ever. I hate it. Hate it. But yeah, I mean, we haven't played them yet, so when that happens, it's going to be crazy. Holy cow. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's happening, though, with all these no-hitters and all this. We have already so many no-hitters. We have 6 so far in 2021. The last one was Corey Kluber of the Yankees. Let me just put this into perspective for you. This year, again, it's May 20th. Barely going to be 2 months of baseball. Barely 2 months. And there's already 6. For comparison, there was 8 total in 2019. And in 2018, there was only 6 no-hitters. So, if I think about this, I'm trying to think why this is happening. Is it because pitchers are just better? Or are they just, or do hitters suck? Like, is it because like the strikeouts are just, people are just going for the home run and that's why? Or are pitchers just better this year? I don't know. But it's bizarre because it's like almost every week now it's happening. Lately, it's just like, oh, another one. It's like, well, what? How? Like, a no-hitter is really, really hard to do. Especially in Major League Baseball. Like, that is super hard to do. And we're talking about, like, professional baseball players that all they do is play baseball and they're supposed to be the best. But it's like these pitchers are just better, I guess. I don't know what it is. I always thought that the hitter, through time of baseball, the hitters got just way better, stronger, smarter. Now it's just like, Where'd all that go? What happened? I don't get it, but I will tell you this, though. It's not good for the game. It's not good. Why? Because now you're getting teams getting stomped and not scoring at all. Now, it's good for the team that wins the game, obviously. Bad for the team that loses, but even worse for the fans. Nobody wants to see a one-sided game. Nobody wants to see a game that nobody can hit, nothing happens, innings go by so quickly. Nobody wants to see just teams depleted, deflated, because once you start like not getting hits, then you just make stupid swings, bad decisions, bad choices. You can see like people getting angry. The lack of effort starts to kick in. The laziness kicks in. Like, oh, we only got like 7 runs to score or to win. Oh, what are we gonna do? They're up by so many runs. And we haven't hit once. So it's like the team's got to do better. They do, because they are putting out a product. They're putting out a show. People pay to see those games. People pay to see, pay for the TV games. You know, they pay for all this to watch you, to do all that. When we see that happen, it's just like, come on, guys. Come on. And I get it. We're not players. We don't coach. Not around the game as you are. But it's like, still, please, just hit one time. If you can't get to a single hit, and it's happening so often, it's like, really? What are we doing here? Come on. Please. Again, if you're a fan of baseball, if you're a seam head, you love baseball, you've been loving it your entire life, this is fine for you. This is fine, because this is something that you don't always see. Sure, could it get a little repetitive? Yeah, like it is right now. But it's a nice sight to see. But again, if you're a casual fan, if you're getting into baseball, or you're trying to get into baseball, I get it. This is going to be boring. It's going to be silly. It's going to look really bad for one team. And you can see, like, the quality from one side to the other. That maybe this pitcher's just insanely good today. But it's weird because it's happening so frequently. Like, it just keeps on happening. I don't get it. We have never seen this. Again, like I said, 2019 had 8. 2018 had 6. But that was an entire regular season. 162 games. A regular season of baseball. Not even a COVID year. Last year, the COVID year, I think, had only 2. I didn't count it because I didn't count them because there was only 62 games. It didn't really count. Didn't really matter. I wouldn't expect much anyway, because I didn't even have like spring training, or not spring training, but preseason. So that was like, I can't even count that really. But again, only 2 last year, and already 6 this year. Not even June yet. Already 6. Now, is it going to stop after the All-Star break? Probably. That's what usually happens. I don't know what it is, but after the All-Star break, that's where teams become real. That's when the highs go down, the lows go up. That's when it always happens. Maybe the Giants start to suck after the All-Star break. Maybe they do. Maybe the Dodgers pick it up. Or maybe, maybe the Braves start to suck. Or maybe the Padres win the division. We don't know. But it's always weird when it happens. It's always odd, because I don't know what does it. Really have no idea. All I know is one of the bigger examples of that, and it's not by a team, but it's by a player. I will never forget this. I don't know what happened, but Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees, after the 2017 Home Run Derby, after that, never the same. I don't know what happened. Was it that teams or pitchers just figured him out, or did he not adjust? But he hasn't really been that same player as he was in 2017. That electric home run hitter, a big hitter, big bomb hitter, dinger all the time. So strong, so big. Everybody was like comparing him, like Aaron Judge is 6'8" or whatever, 6'7", and Gronkowski's only 6'6". It's like, yeah, well, he's a bigger dude. Why is that so hard for you to like think in baseball? There are pitchers that are like 6'9", 6'8". Like, relax, okay? Relax. But yeah, it's weird. I don't think it's gonna happen as much this year, but it could be. But it could. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the home run derby that just destroys players. But like, or even just the break itself. Like, I just don't get it. Maybe just because it's a break in the rhythm. The schedule is just like, get some days off. You kind of like relax or whatever. I don't get it. I don't know. But I can't wait to see it. I just hope we get better. I don't want to be, seeing games where we lose or we can't score. One of the worst feelings ever is like when you just have so many runners in scoring position on base and nobody can bring them home. Nobody. At a certain point, it gets to you. It's like, are we even good? Like, was that World Series a fluke? Of course, I don't think so, but like, it doesn't help like you to not think about it. It always creeps back into your mind, like, are we really that good? I mean, we have all these good players, but are we good as a team, though? I think so, but, that could all change. And, of course, everybody probably heard who watches baseball or follows it to a degree. Tony La Russa, the manager of the Chicago White Sox, was getting... is a guy, he's an older manager, one of the most well-known names in baseball. He got annoyed at one of his players, Mercedes. I can't remember his first name, but he hit a home run on a position player when they were up 11 runs, and he got mad at him. But I don't understand why. And he's like, there's some unwritten rules in baseball that you just don't do. You don't hit a home run off 3 balls and no strike count off a position player, and you're up by so many runs and late innings. And it's like, bro, who cares? Right? I mean, like, that doesn't even matter. That's a silly thing to get mad at a player for. That guy is playing really, really good. And, like, there's no reason for you to get mad at him about unwritten rules in baseball in 2021. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, I want to see home runs. I want to see runs scored. I want to see the score go up. I don't want to see, a boring game. I just don't want to see it. And for, like, your objective is to score runs, right? Like, what are you going to do then? Just then take all those players out if you're up by so many runs. Don't keep them in. Then do that. It's weird because it's such an old-timey thing where you kind of go easy on players or on teams. But, like, baseball is such, like, a stat-driven league. Everybody looks at the home runs, RBIs, the RISP percentage, all that. Everybody looks at that. So, like, that's like going to help him in his career and help him get on a better team or get a better deal, better contract. So when you do that, it's like, okay, dude, come on. Like, I know, like, baseball is different nowadays and it's trying to be like to a bigger audience and all that, but it's just such a old school type of argument. It's like somebody said it was like an old man yelling at the clouds type of thing. I heard that somewhere. I can't remember where. Or maybe I read it, not sure. But it was just, it was such a, not something that I wouldn't promote that. Especially if you're trying to get viewers and people to be fans, because that gentleman right there can hit the ball. I'm going to look him up, actually. Hold on. Yerman Mercedes. So Yerman Mercedes, you did nothing wrong, bro. Nothing wrong. Nothing. You did what you wanted. You hit the ball. You did your job, bro. You did your job. You scored a run. You got a home run. You played well. You're a damn good hitter. And don't let this old manager tell you what these unwritten rules are. There's no mercy rule in baseball, Major League Baseball. Every team should be able to compete with each other. Every team has the ability to win or to beat a bigger team. Everybody has chance to win games. And this isn't like a big club either. This is the Chicago White Sox, who haven't been like all that relevant in the past few years. This year they're actually pretty good. But I mean, like, before they weren't. Like, the last 5 years, not really. I mean, like, maybe a bit, but like, it's usually like the past 5 years was the Cubs, really. Those guys owned Chicago. And now these guys are playing well. And you want to make this stupid headline of being, unprofessional or the unwritten rules thing. Get out of here, man. Your team's winning games. Just be happy about that. Your players are hitting well. Just be happy for that. Don't deflate their balloon. Don't deflate their ride. Don't do that. It just seems weird. And when people see it and fans see it, and it's like, oh, come on, we're still whining about this. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not for it. I don't think it should be a big deal. It never was really a big deal until this guy, Tony La Russa, was complaining about it and then yelling at his player. Like, nobody thought that it was a bad thing. Nobody did. They put out a position player as a pitcher. What did you expect? Come on. It's like hitting off your, comparing your a Major League Baseball pitcher to, a position player. It could be like hitting off your dad in batting practice. Come on. They don't pitch. They don't know how to. Maybe they did before, but it's much easier. Come on. That's silly. And he was already up in the count. 3-0. Just relax. It's nothing major. But, people will, complain. But it was good for the media, though. Everybody got onto that quick. I know I do my podcast on Thursdays, but everybody before that, they were going off on it. ESPN, Bleacher Report, everybody was talking about it. Everybody was saying, like, is this just something we got to fade out? Is this something we got to be rid of? Got to be done with it? And I think we do. Everybody seems to be on that side of these unwritten rules are just silly and kind of dumb and kind of, who cares, really? Who cares? Nobody cares. Just play the game. If you have no pitchers, what are you supposed to do? What are you going to do? Forfeit? They're not going to forfeit. They're going to try to, score some runs. You play for pride. Play for pride. I mean, it was better than, like, a few weeks ago, the Dodgers were up, like, 13-0, and then we barely won that game, like, 16-11 or something like that. That was painful. So I no lead in baseball. It's coming to this because hitters are so good. Leads are becoming less and less safe. It's just a fact. They're just becoming less and less safe. And, maybe I'm not saying that the other team is going to, beat the White Sox, but you can never be too careful. You got to be always until the game's over. The last out is counted for, You just got to keep going. Again, if you're not going to let him hit, take him out of the game. You're already up by 11 runs. Put in your substitutes. Put in other people. Don't have him hit then. It's so simple. Could have been avoided. But then you're like, you got to yell about it and make headlines and everybody talking about it. Everybody. But again, good for the media. Made him look dumb. Made him look old and outdated. I wasn't going to go far as saying, like, get this old man out of baseball like I've been seeing on Twitter and on Instagram and all that. No, I'm not going to go that far. Didn't tweet about it. Just kind of agreed with Trevor Bauerhouse saying, like, it does kind of hinder the game a bit. It is kind of a silly, stupid thing to complain about. It really is. But again, I'm not going to tweet, like, get this old man out of baseball. No, I'm not going to do that. Nah, I'm not going to tweet it myself. Maybe I'll retweet something, but I'm not going to actually say, get this old guy out of baseball. People will do that for me. And I will retweet it. Sometimes it won't, though. Anyway, that's the show for this week, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Again, you can follow the show on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. And, that comes out every Thursday night. Make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube. That helps a lot. Rate and review on Apple Podcasts. That helps a lot, too. I mean, I would love to hear some feedback, some suggestions, some let's get that star rating up, bro. Let's get that star rating up. I want to see that improve. I want to see that engagement. What should I talk about? Anything that's in particular? I know I talk about roughly pretty much anything really, except politics. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to. You've got people that you follow who talk about politics. You can watch them. I'm not about that. I'm not going to be for that. Except for if Joe Biden plays as Luigi, then we're talking. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it all. Again, you can find me or the show at Intelligent Moron on Intelligent Moron without Alex Silva on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. We will see you next week.